In this video, we will be finding the square root of 96. In order to find the square root of 96, let's first review an important math concept, which is the square root of a times b is equal to the square root of a times the square root of b, meaning that if you have two numbers multiplied by each other inside of a square root, you can separate them out into their own individual square roots and multiply them together. Now, in order to apply this to 96, what we first need to do is think about the factors of 96. While there are many possible factors of 96, I'm going to choose to use 16 and 6 because 16 is a perfect square. Perfect squares are important to use because they will simplify our square root. Now let's take that square root of 96 and rewrite it as 16 times 6. Using the math rule we previously established, we can now separate out this square root into two individual square roots of the square root of 16 times the square root of 6. Now, because 4 times 4 gives us 16, we know that the square root of 16 equals 4. Therefore, we can rewrite the square root of 96 as 4 times the square root of 6. This is our simplified square root. We can also estimate the square root of 96 to the nearest whole number by looking at perfect squares nearby. If we look at 9 squared, we get 81. And if we look at 10 squared, we get 100. As you can see, 96 lies between 81 and 100, meaning that the square root of 81 will be less than the square root of 96, which in turn will be less than the square root of 100. Because 9 squared equals 81, we can rewrite the square root of 81 as 9. Similarly, because 10 squared equals 100, we can rewrite the square root of 100 as 10. Now you can see that the square root of 96 lies between 9 and 10. In order to find which value the square root of 96 most closely aligns to, we can take a look at the difference between 96 and our perfect squares by subtracting them. So we will first do 96 minus 81 to give us 15, and then 100 minus 96 to give us 4. As you can see, because 4 is less than 15, the square root of 96 will be closer to 10, because that 96 is closest to 100. Therefore, we can approximate the square root of 96 as approximately 10.